My name's Craig Brisbane. I've lived on Kendall Road over 20 years from 1988 and recently moved away from the area, but I brought up a family during that period, and Blackley Forest is right on the edge of where I live, and it was part and parcel of those 20 years. We know it through all its seasons. My particular interest is in the history of the site. I ran an amateur archaeological group nearby, and I look at the landscape of the forest probably in slightly different ways to most people. For instance, we're standing next to a raised area of land which 250 years ago was a housing platform. There would have been cottages, buildings in a small terrace running behind me. There's plenty of evidence for the way the landscape here has been worked and used, and it's even possible to go back to the Bronze Age. Work by local metal detectorists has revealed Bronze Age artefacts, and the same gentleman has also found Roman remains in this area. It would have been a much more open aspect than we have now. Other people will be talking to you about the planting of the trees as a war memorial after the Second World War. It has a much more wooded and forest feel to it now than it would have had 70 or 80 years ago. After the Second World War, there was a need for accommodation for the returning troops and their families. This open piece of land behind me is on the edge of the River Irk. The forest is immediately behind us, and this was filled with buildings. There were 3 such temporary villages in this immediate area. There was one here and 2 more in Heaton Park. This would have been a community with schools and shops, houses, and it was all temporary, prefabricated, and it's lasted a surprising number of years. There are some photographs of it. Hard to believe now. You would think this had always been a grassy open space. Right, we're near a weir on the River Irk, which forces the water to flow more quickly. On the opposite side of this bank is Barker Vale Primary School, and somewhere between the school and the river there was a mill. We're at the border between Manchester and Middleton here, and I think the rent required to be paid by the mill owners back in the Tudor period and the medieval period would have been higher if it was Manchester land as compared to Middleton land. Now, nothing survives now, but a few years ago a large oak plank that would fit the bill for a building of that size came downstream and lodged itself about half a mile away from where we are here. That was rescued, recorded, sent for dendrochronology dating, and turned out to be a building from about 1400. It's a beautiful spot anyway. My memories are quite vivid, particularly when you have 2 children growing up. They were forever in here, and they were finding things in their way that was of interest to them. Ducklings, foxes, the wildflowers, the beauty of an early morning sunshine in a winter day. This is an exciting time for young people, and that excitement, of course, became part of our day, became part of our story, became